In 2012, I was living in London, and it was a really exciting time to be in London because it was during the Olympics. And it was kind of the only thing I can describe it feeling like back here is like maybe Italia 1990, where, you know, the streets are quiet. And then you hear this kind of Mexican wave of a roar as, you know, people in all the little pubs are celebrating. And that was certainly the way in London when it came to the British cycling team. And they had a massive, massive success at the 2012 Olympics. It was incredible, the success that they had. But around that time, I saw this article in the BBC about David Brailsford. So he was the British cycling team coach. He was hired in 2003 to take over the team. And at the time in 2003, they couldn't even get sponsorship. They couldn't even get to their jersey sponsored. That's how bad they were. And they brought him in to transform the team. But instead of trying to go for this overnight transformation that, you know, a lot of these coaches do, he decided to take a different approach. He decided to break down every single thing that went into riding a bike and improve it all by 1%. So he went about making changes, like normal changes you'd expect a cycling coach to make, like improving, you know, the aerodynamicity of the bikes, he got the outdoor cyclists to wear indoor cycling gear. He got this special gear that actually could heat up, so it could heat up the muscles of the cyclists so they could cycle faster. But he also went about creating little teeny tiny 1% changes in really strange ways. So he re-engineered the tour bus so that the cyclists could sit at an angle that would best optimize recovery. He brought in a surgeon to teach them correct hand washing techniques so that they'd be less susceptible to getting illnesses or viruses. He got them all to test out different pillows and mattresses to find the one that was best for them. And then he would ship them to every venue where they traveled. So they would have their own mattress, the same mattress and the same pillow everywhere they went. And my favorite one was that he painted the inside of the bike sheds white, so that they could see any teeny tiny speck of dust that would fall on the bikes and hamper their performance. And although these seemed like laughable in isolation, the cumulative effects were huge. So over the next 10 years, and during the 2008 and 2012 Olympics, they became one of the most successful cycling teams of all time. And they had the most successful run in the Tour de France in 2012 as well. But the thing is, success isn't an event. It's not the Tour de France. It's not getting your degree. It's not getting that promotion. Success is when you break down all of the teeny tiny 1% changes and improve on them over time. And that's what David Brailsford did. And he's known for this marginal gains theory that's now been disseminated into healthcare, into innovation, into business. But this marginal gains theory applies to our habits too. Can we start to think about our habits instead of that overnight transformation? Can we start to think about what are the 1% changes that I can make? What are the teeny tiny, teeny weeny, bite-sized changes I can make? And I like to say, do they pass the giggle test? And what I mean by that is, are they small enough that it's almost laughably easy? Because that decreases friction and makes it easier to engage. There's a really interesting study where they got people to look at 2 flossing habits. And they got one group just to floss their teeth every night, and they got another group just to floss 1 tooth every night. That's giggleable, that's laughable, that's small. And they followed up after 3 months, and they found that those that were flossing 1 tooth a night were the ones that were sustaining it the most. And that's because they made it the barrier to entry so simple, so easy, that it was almost effortless. And so the question I want you to ask yourself when it comes to creating sticky habits is, what is the smallest change you can make? Instead of looking for those overnight transformations, instead of feeling like you've got a huge mountain to climb when you want to create any habit in your life, ask yourself, what's the smallest, teeny weeny, tiniest change that I can make over the next 7 days? Small changes are sticky habits.